upload it right away, and then it sits because then I don't want to go and upload it. But
Yeah, editing is harder than you'd think it is. Like
yeah,
putting it all to put on Spotify takes some time,
there he goes,
but
Merryman.
I've got it down to
What the
like
hell is it?
I don't know what to do. I've got it down to like 2 hours or so of editing. I just got to put in like some music at the beginning and at the end and cut around some stuff.
I fear for what might pop up on the screen. You're fabulous.
I'm upset that he didn't come in. I'm upset that he didn't come into the Shrek song. That's what I thought he was gonna do.
To the what?
I'm upset he didn't come into "Oh Merry Man."
Well,
'Cause
yeah, with the name.
that's what his thing
Oh,
is.
Merry Man.
Can you go out and do it again?
Can you go out and do it again? What's that hat? I like it. Where'd you get that?
It is my partner's.
Nice.
You have a gay partner?
Yes.
Fuck, I gotta cut that too. No, we don't. No, we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, no, we're gonna roll with it.
I see.
Well, good thing you're finally here. We have a lot to discuss. Should I do a Hulk Hogan intro?
I don't know, man. I think that whatever that was all
pretty
the
good
intro
intro.
we needed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. You're gonna have to cut that, Thomas, and it's gonna have to start right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I'll,
it should.
Yeah.
It should definitely.
Let me tell you something, brother. We got the weirdest of tangents coming up. The weird tangent.
Ain't no
And it's gonna be insane, brother.
Oh yeah, Andrew. I told Ben I almost made my name at the bottom, Kylie Cox, but I didn't know if that would be in good taste or not.
Yes, it would. All right. Well, I'm gonna take this off because with the headset, it's not working.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly. Andrew, do you like my hat?
I do.
Yeah.
Great hat, they say.
Throwback.
Great hat, they say.
I said, "Wow, what a great hat! Very purple."
I go out in the street, they say, "Wow, Mr. Trump, what a great hat." I say, "Oh, thank you. I never realized I could have a team named after muscadines, but there you go. What even is a muscadine? They say it's a grape, but I don't know. The deep state says it's a grape."
They say it's great, but I don't know. That's a great line there. Great line there, they say.
Fellas, it's been a while since we've been together. We got a lot to go into. Would anyone really like to go into like baseball trade rumors, or should we go right into our football Mount Rushmore?
No, let's save the Mount Rushmore for last if we're going to talk about other stuff, because that's probably the most interesting thing we're going to talk about.
So shouldn't we start with that first?
Well, no.
And then get into our weird tangent?
Because then you, well...
Because the weird tangents will flow when we get started.
Yeah, I think we should start with the Mount Rushmore so we can get the outrageous things out of the way.
Well, but then people are going to stop listening. You know what I mean?
I will admit,
the two people that listen to us.
I found it much, much harder to make this than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
And I feel like I have some hot takes in here.
See, I told you guys, but I'm going to just say this for the 8 people that might watch this. I did that much research. That much.
Yeah.
Much.
I tried to mix in a little bit of research with also my own personal anecdotes.
I lied. Right at the end, after we were texting about it, I looked at the all-time rushing leaders and all-time receiving yards leaders.
All right.
So I did 2 research.
I was a little biased to players that I actually witnessed.
So was I a little bit, especially with the running backs. But
it's hard to judge people you never watched with people you did, even with stats. So I tried to do a little of both, to be fair. But
do we want to each one of us do somebody do quarterback, then another person do running back, then another person do receiver, and then we can talk about it as we go, so that one person doesn't get their picks all up on the board. You know what I mean? Am I making sense?
I think we should just go separate, or we should go.
That's fine. Whatever. However you want to.
Station by station, head by head.
We'll just all do our quarterbacks, and then we'll all do our running backs and etc. We can just do that.
Yeah. So if we're being a little bit biased about running backs, I guess I do have to change one of them because
you don't have to be. That's the way I am.
Yeah.
Take Le'Veon Bell off of there, please.
I never really enjoyed Le'Veon Bell that much.
All right.
Hang on. Don't worry. I have a note of where I need to cut.
All right. Well, hey, 4:30, I think. Cut.
All right. I've been recording for 16 minutes. I'll cut it 16 minutes. So, Andrew, you want to tell us your picks for quarterback?
Quarterbacks. Yes, we can do that. We can definitely do that. So are we doing 4 with an honorable mention?
That's what I do.
That's
You don't
what
have
I
to
have.
do it that way. You can do it
If you
however
want
way
to do
you
5,
want.
that's cool
That's
too.
all you guys had. All right, so I'm gonna. You know what? Just for quarterbacks only, I'm gonna do 5.
That
I
works.
feel like this one's gonna be the one that's gonna be pretty much the same, like 3, and
Ooh,
then
you know,
a different one at 4 for each of us. I think.
all right. So are we giving any reasoning, or are we just doing the list?
We'll give reasoning after we give our whole thing, and we can have like a little short
All right,
discussion about.
all right, all right. So I got obviously. Could we all agree? Number 1 is going to be the same person.
Yeah, 1 and
It's
2
gonna
is
be
the same person.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady is number 1.
Yeah,
Number 2 is Joe Montana.
yeah, that's easy.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's
Number 3 and 4 was where it got really hard for me, but just because of Super Bowls, I had to go with Peyton Manning.
that's
And
what I
then
did too.
And then I got Dan Marino,
Yep.
and my honorable mention was Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is number 2 or 3 all time in every single stat. So I had to throw him in there.
That's where we differ. So I have the same thing. I think there's 3 obvious ones. Like if you don't have Brady, Manning, and Joe Montana on that list, I think that's wrong. And that 4th one is where it kind of anybody can. I put Marino because I think he's the most talented quarterback to ever play football. And then
I agree on
put
that.
my honorable mention is John Elway because he went to 5 Super Bowls and he won 2. It was between
Yeah.
Elway. It was between Elway and Rodgers, and Elway winning 2 Super Bowls and he went to 5. I said, yeah, I think Elway.
You would put Rodgers over Drew Brees?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Behind Marino, Rodgers is the most talented ball thrower of all time.
Would you believe that me and Andrew have exactly the same list,
Really?
except with
Oh,
one difference?
Well, it's not the same list.
Shit.
I put Drew Brees over Dan Marino, with
Really?
Marino being honorable mention, because I looked at the stats a little bit, and Brees has got a higher completion percentage career and more touchdowns, a lot more touchdowns, almost
Wow.
100.
Gotcha. Well,
So I
see,
went with
Ben,
Brees over Marino.
the reason that I put Dan Marino over is the same reason that Thomas just said. I personally think that Dan Marino is the most talented person to ever play that
He's the
position.
most talented quarterback
So,
to ever live.
That's
I'm
why
not even mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
Like, really, those two could really go either way, and that was honestly the one I struggled with so much.
Yeah.
Whether to put Brees or Marino as the honorable mention, I ended up going with Marino. But really, you could make a strong argument, I think, for any of these guys being number 1. If you look at, say, Manning's numbers right next to Tom Brady's, they're so similar. In fact, Manning beats out Brady in a couple stats.
Yeah, but I think the separating factor for Brady and Montana is the winning. Right?
The playoff
Nobody's
success, yeah,
won.
of
Nobody's
course.
won as much as them. Like people
Right.
can sniff them with the numbers, but nobody. Those 2 are heads and shoulders above everyone else, and then it's the next tier where it's Manning.
And that's why they got to be at the
Yeah,
top.
where
Yeah.
Manning, and I think Mahomes is in that second category already. But
Yeah.
Manning, Mahomes, Marino, Rodgers, Elway, Breeze. Like I'm probably missing some, but you get my point.
I'm not saying that Mahomes will be on this list. I'm saying he has a chance to be when his career is done. If he keeps going, he has a chance
Hell
to
of
be.
a start.
Amazing start. He like I said the other day in text, he's the closest thing to Tom Brady we currently have in the playing in the league, without a doubt. He has himself a dynasty now. He's gone to 4 Super Bowls already in his life.
The crazy thing is, though, is if you look at passing yards, he's quite far down on the list.
Yeah.
He's only been around 5 years.
Well, you know
8
what?
years.
You know what's crazy is
He's been around for 8.
You know what's crazy is Marino being number 8 in passing yards, but was in an era where they didn't throw for tons of passing yards.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, it is a offensive league now.
Yeah.
So we didn't have people
and
chucking the ball
you know,
up like that back in Elway's time.
Because of that is why I almost considered giving an honorable mention to Terry Bradshaw for winning 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Well, but his
Because
stats are so.
his stats are not there.
Yeah.
They're not there at all. But he still
Montana-
won 4 Super Bowls.
Montana did what he did when linebackers were all on cocaine on Sundays,
Yeah.
and they could murder the receivers on their route. Now everything's so coddled, it is meant for touchdowns.
Of
So
course,
you
yeah.
got to take that into account too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
All right,
we seem to all
alrighty.
pretty much agree on quarterbacks for the most part.
And I
Except you didn't
also
put in Breeze.
I consider Breeze briefly, but I took points from Breeze because he was real iffy until he went to New Orleans. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know if that matters or not, but
I think the only thing keeping him off of more lists like this is the fact that his teams were so bad apart from him
that's
for so
true.
long.
That's
They would
true.
always lose games like 33 to
I
31.
think that's the knock. I think that's the knock with Stafford too. Like
Yeah,
Stafford had the most yards through his first 100 games or something like that. But I
yeah.
think Stafford's the same way. Stafford, it was on a dog shit team for 11 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Rams and he won immediately.
Immediately.
Do we want to go wide receiver or running back next? I don't care which.
It don't matter
Let's
to
do
me.
running back.
Ben, would you like to?
Yes. This one's not really controversial. I've got number one and two being Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. I don't think that's very controversial. Next two maybe, and I have a bias again because I watch these guys play, so I have a bias for them. But I put Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore,
Okay.
Okay.
and then an honorable mention to Walter Payton.
Okay. This is where we're going to
Gotcha.
be very different. Mine's
Yeah.
very
Thomas,
different.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Mine's very different. So, the first two guys I never watched, but I think I'm gonna be like old man bias here, and say Jim Brown, and
Ah.
and this is in no particular order either. Like I don't have a 1, 2, 3, 4 for this one because I don't think there's a clear pecking order. But my 4 is Jim Brown, Barry Sanders. I do have Adrian Peterson, but I've got LaDainian Tomlinson instead of Frank Gore. I think LaDainian Tomlinson was unfucking believable.
That's fair.
And my honorable mention was Emmitt Smith, because of the compilation, and he won a lot. I think Adrian Peterson is the most talented running back I've ever seen. But again, I'm 27 years old, so like I haven't. But yeah, that was
Thomas,
that
you
was
know,
mine.
our list is very similar. My number one, I got Emmitt Smith. Number two, I got Jim Brown. I have Adrian Peterson at 3 and LaDainian Tomlinson at 4. Now, 5, like honorable mention in 5, I kind of had a little bit of a mix up because of I have not watched any of them. Because personally, the most talented running back that I have ever watched is Marshawn Lynch. I have never seen someone so and I know I got to watch Adrian Peterson too, but I still think Marshawn Lynch was probably the most unstoppable running back in the league. But I have Walter Payton and him for the honorable mention, but I'd probably have to give it to
Listen,
Walter
man,
Payton.
if you go back, like you can listen to guys talk, and this is like a Marino thing. Barry Sanders was
Yeah.
fucking insane.
Yeah, this one was the hardest to do, I think, because it almost
I
seems like the
agree.
best running backs in football were all before our times. It was very
They
hard
all were.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
to pick these.
Again, outside of like Peterson and
Peterson
LT
and
and
Gore.
Frank Gore, and really Frank Gore was a great
He's
running
played
back,
for a
but he
long
just
time.
compiled. Yeah, he just compiled a ton of stats. I'm not saying he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame because with those stats he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Of course. Yeah.
But he's not on the level of like talent and
Right.
year to year
I mean-
production that like AP and LT were.
Well, surely, if the Seahawks get to the Super Bowl with Marshawn Lynch, and let's say they were on like I don't know the 2-yard line or something like that, you think they'd maybe give him the ball, or do you think that'd be too predictable?
Honestly, I just think it would be too predictable.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
better to do a weird
even,
slant
even if,
right in the
even if even if the Patriots couldn't stop him all game, it's still too predictable.
I'm throwing a quick slant right into traffic because
Yes.
fuck you. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah,
Belichick will never see it
exactly.
coming.
Never see it
No.
coming. And
Bill
you
will
got
never
Russell
see it
Wilson.
And the defender didn't see it coming either. The ball literally just landed in his hands. That's the most annoying thing. He wasn't even looking. It just happened.
You know what we should have done? We should have added coaches to this.
Fuck, we should have.
We should have done.
We can
that.
always go. We can always go back and add it. But
Yeah,
I will
We could
say,
do that off the cuff.
that's true.
my entire life, I have hated the Seattle Seahawks because of that game.
Me too.
I
I'm still
never
not
had-
over it.
I never had anything against Russell Wilson or the Seahawks until that game. And now I hate them. And I have always hated them. And Russell Wilson is my quarterback, but he is a bitch.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I've hated the Seahawks and their logo and their dumb stadium and their dumb fans that think somehow they're louder than anybody else. No.
I just hate that.
I hate them.
They ruined my life by that play.
Same.
By
Same,
that
dude.
one play.
Well, so did the ref that said that not Jesse James. Was it Jesse James?
It was Jesse James, the goal line. No, but it doesn't matter because that game ruined my life. I have hated football ever since the Patriots won that Super Bowl because
That was
that-
an amazing
you
Super
know
Bowl,
what?
though, to be fair.
Let me retract my statement of the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. The Patriots did not win that Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks lost that Super Bowl, and I will
Facts.
always say that.
Facts.
Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck the Seahawks. I hate them all.
Me too.
Except for
Steven needs to
Marshawn
stop
Lynch, bro.
calling me on Discord.
Mr. Skittles is my man. Love Marshawn Lynch.
You're gonna end up
Definitely
winning. You're gonna end up
definitely
winning 8 games this year.
the Steelers.
Somehow they're gonna end up
Hold
winning
on,
8 games.
let me just ask you this, Ben. So last year we won 10 games. You really think we're gonna do worse than that?
Never know with
There is no way.
Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
You
But
never know
he's-
what's gonna happen with Mr. Wilson.
But he's got to be better than fucking.
But
Kenny
that's what
Pickett.
I'm saying, bro. We ran with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph.
Kenny
There,
Pickett was
you
bad.
can't do worse than that.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Well, you definitely can if you're most of the NFC. But it's okay.
We got way
I'm gonna
off
go-
topic.
I'm gonna go grab. I'm gonna go
We got
grab.
on a tangent as we
way
do.
off
I'm
topic.
gonna grab one more beer before we run into the wide receivers
receivers.
because I do want to hear the wide receivers. So y'all can continue your weird tangent for 2 seconds.
Now, for wide receivers, I don't have a solid 1 through 5 because like running backs
We're
is
not
hard
gonna
to
wait for
place.
Andrew?
I'm not gonna actually say them.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I'm just saying I don't have them in a 1 through 5 list. I just have them in a bunch.
I do. I've got mine in a 1 through 5.
So we will.
Yeah, I've got mine in a 1 through 5. But that's
That one was also extremely difficult.
This one wasn't that hard for me. The fourth one was tough. The fourth one was tough for me. But other than that,
All right, fellas, we are back.
Oh, merry man!
Da, 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 da. Hey, I steal from the rich and give to the needy. He take away percentage, but I'm not greedy. I rescue pretty damsels. Damn, I'm good.
Miss your hood, break it down.
Break it down. All right.
I take my blade and ram it through your heart. Alrighty.
Wide
Thomas,
receivers. What are
you,
you
I
feeling?
think, Ben, you went first last time, right?
I did. Thomas can go first. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
I did Jerry Rice being number 1 should be.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think you can argue that. Randy Moss and T.O. was close, but that's my 2 and 3. I think Randy Moss is, again, I think Randy Moss was the best receiver to ever walk Earth, like most talented receiver to ever walk Earth. He just didn't give a shit.
That's fair.
And then T.O. And then I put Calvin Johnson, just because I thought Calvin Johnson was so good. But I could be, I had a tough time with the fourth one. And my honorable mention is Marvin Harrison, just because I love Marvin Harrison.
Good list, they say.
Even though he's
Great
probably not a top 5 receiver all time, but
Great list.
he's in the Hall of Fame, so I can't
Yeah.
really.
That's fair. Good.
That's a good list.
Good list. Good list.
That's a pretty good list.
Interesting. You know, it's crazy. Randy Moss being as good as he was and playing with the best quarterback who ever played. You would imagine that they have a Super Bowl ring, right?
You'd think.
One might think.
No.
But one man. One man.
Nothing beats the Netflix special where Randy is like, y'all, I heard of y'all cheating and doing this and doing that. Why the fuck didn't we do that when I was there? Nah, instead they lost to Eli Manning.
I must say, I thought our list would be more, argumentative, but we seem to be doing the same stuff pretty much.
Oh, just wait.
With my list, I have Jerry Rice.
This man is going to say Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. But my list also has Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone has Jerry.
Yeah.
And
you have to.
and Terrell Owens. And I think this is the only one you didn't say. I put in Larry Fitz.
Yeah.
The
I think
stats
you
will
gotta
say
put
this.
This is good.
You got to put in Larry
The
Fitz.
stats will say that.
I couldn't not put in Larry Fitz, so I have him at 3. But again, this is kind of a loose 1 through 5 because they really could go either way after you get past Jerry Rice. I also have Randy Moss, and then my honorable mention was Megatron.
Nice. See, my only gripe with Larry Fitz is he was never the best receiver in his time.
Yeah.
He was never the best guy in the league.
That's true.
But
That's true, but I
he was
like his
pretty
longevity.
tremendous all around.
Like no matter how many years went by, he was hardly ever hurt. He always showed up as the same guy year after year. He never took a step back as he aged, and that's rare in football for non-quarterback positions.
Definitely, but I think I left him off for the same reason I left Frank Gore off. Of just they were never the best at the time. They were just always really good.
Hall of Famer. I mean, still Hall of Famers.
If I do have to give if I have to give Larry Fitz something, I would probably say he's probably got the best hands of anybody that I've ever watched. Dude has more tackles than he does dropped passes.
I give high marks to consistency in a league that's very anti-consistency.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
Frank Gore and Larry Fitz have it.
Yeah. Now, wide receiver for me, number 1, of course, it has to be Kadarius Toney. No, but all right. So number 1, obviously Jerry Rice. Number 2, I got Randy Moss. Ben, I think I diverged from you here. I got Calvin Johnson at 3. That man was a monster, a physical specimen. And then you got Terrell Owens. Now, my honorable mention.
Antonio Brown.
And this is going to come with
Hines Ward.
No. This is going to come with
Steve Smith.
Statistics that have to come in. It is Antonio Brown. Now, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Hold on. Let me tell you why. 1, he only played for 8 years. Right? He played from 2010 to 2018. 2019, he did not play. 2020, he played 3 games in a Super Bowl. And then 2021, he played 4 or 5 games before running off the field. So, he really only played 8.5 seasons. But the reason I have to throw him in there is because having Calvin Johnson so high, he beats Calvin Johnson in every single statistic. He has 1,000 more yards than Calvin Johnson. He's got the same touchdowns. He has 200 more receptions.
How many years did Calvin Johnson play?
This 8.
It was 8. Okay.
Yeah. And then their receptions are he's got 200 more receptions. So he beats Calvin Johnson by a milestone in every single statistic. And also at the time for 6 years straight he had 1,000 yards, and I think he was probably the best receiver for 6 years straight in a league with Odell, Julio, DeAndre Hopkins. So because of that, I also do think if he didn't go like balls off the wall crazy, that he could have played 6 or 7 more years.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is why. It's just purely off of talent, what he did in the time that he played. I think he was probably up there.
He's also the only wide receiver to take his jersey off middle of the game and throw it and then quit the game.
He is not the only player to quit mid-game, though.
No, he's not. That corner for the Colts did it a while back.
Probably the only one to do it in such spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I don't have any huge arguments with any of that.
Great.
And now we get to the segment where I make the Swifties angry.
Oh, I think we're all gonna. Now, can I go first on this?
Go for it, buddy.
Please.
Now, I just want to say, I respect all religions, but boys, if you guys do not have Mr. Rob Gronkowski at number 1, you're just simply wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end to ever play the position at every single part of being a tight end. But dude, just like what I said about Marshawn Lynch being unstoppable, no one stopped Gronk. Absolutely nobody stopped Gronk. Ever. It was impossible. I have seen this man run through 5 different people.
Just imagine what he'd have done if he didn't have all the injuries.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
And look at his stats with the injuries.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine what he'd have done without getting hurt.
Exactly. But then here we go with number 2. We got Tony Gonzalez.
Yep.
Number 3, Number 3, my lord. I got
Pick number 3,
Antonio
my
Gates.
lord.
I got Antonio Gates.
And so do I. Agreed there.
Now this, I have to admit, this was really, really hard to make this decision, but I had to go by stats. I put Jason Witten at 4.
Really? Jason Witten?
And my honorable mention is Travis Kelce. Now, I leave Travis Kelce off because he is a receiver. He does not block. He does not do anything that a tight end should do except for go catch passes, which he is great at. But Travis Kelce also does not just run through people. He just catches the ball and runs. So that's why I left him off.
Yep. He's off my list completely. He's not even the honorable.
Well,
He's not even the honorable mention.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, then, in that case, I think Ben has to go next.
It's similar, sort of. I have some stuff in here you're not gonna like.
That means no.
Number 1, I have Rob Gronkowski, because you have to, like you mentioned.
Yes.
Number 2, I had Tony Gonzalez.
Yep. Great guy.
Number 3, I put Shannon Sharp.
Ooh.
I've got Shannon Sharp 4.
Shannon.
Which I think is complete. I think that's very fair given his accolades.
I've got Shannon 4.
I did want to throw Shannon up there, but
Travis Kelce is at 4, and he has to be. Guys, I know we all hate him and Taylor, but he has to be there. I understand he's annoying, but he's just great at playing.
But he's
tight end.
not a tight end. He's just a simple receiver.
That's what the best tight ends are in football these days. They're just another
Not
receiver.
Gronk.
That's just the way that the game is played now. He hasn't been in the game in 4 years.
But Gronk, in the era where that was a thing, he was the best blocking tight end in the league also.
Yeah. Okay.
My honorable mention, I know you're going to shit on me, but I just had to do it because why not? Because it's my list. For my honorable mention, I put Zach Ertz.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Greg Olsen.
Honestly, I don't think Zach Ertz is that controversial for an honorable mention.
I don't think so. Zach Ertz was good.
But top 5 all time, maybe not.
Well, I put Marvin Harrison as a top 5 receiver. So obviously Gronk is 1. Gronk is 1, and Tony is 2. I've got Gates and then Shannon Sharp. But my honorable mention is Kellen Winslow Sr.
Ah. Interesting.
It was either him or Jason Witten when I did my brief look at the end there. It was between him and Jason Witten. I just don't. Travis Kelce is a great player and he's probably a Hall of Famer, but he's not a good blocker. I hate him.
No.
We hate him, or we can't leave him off the list because we hate him.
But here's the thing. But you're so. You ever looked at Shannon Sharp's game-by-game numbers?
Not in a while. I
It's
don't have
fucking
problem.
Randy Moss video game shit. Like, Travis Kelce is a consistent 80 yards and a touchdown every week. Shannon Sharp was putting up fucking 7. Shannon Sharp was putting up double-digit receptions for like 250 and 4 tuds. Like, Shannon Sharp was unreal, and I think Anthony. I almost said Anthony Davis. Now I lost my train of thought. Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, I think, was just as good, if not better, of a receiver than Kelce.
Yeah. Well, if you look at Antonio Gates,
and then you can't argue Kelsey's better than Tony Gonzalez or Gronk.
Do you know? Argument there. Take a guess at how many more touchdowns Antonio Gates has than Travis Kelce.
It's a lot. Antonio Gates is like the all-time leader in touchdowns, isn't he? For tight ends.
I think he is. For tight ends,
sure
definitely.
All-time leader.
10.
No, Antonio Gates has 116, and Travis Kelce has 74.
I also got to take.
Tony Gonzalez has 111.
I also have to take into account all the winning Travis Kelce does, as well. He doesn't back down in the toughest moments. He's made for the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think Antonio Gates is at least an equal talent in every way.
Well,
so
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, and Shannon Sharp, bro. Shannon Sharp at his peak was.
Well, Shannon Sharp also has the same amount of championships as Travis Kelce too.
Well, Yeah, he got too late with Elway and won that one with the Ravens though. I think he retired the next year, didn't he?
And that was the Ravens' monster
He
defense year.
retired like right after that Ravens year, but
Yeah.
either way, he had 2 in his prime with Elway. So like,
That was the Ravens' defense nobody in the world wanted to play.
well, yeah, no, but Shannon had 2 in his prime with Elway, but
But
he's just
jealous of Tom Brady.
I just don't think
That says
I legitimately
somebody.
I obviously don't like Travis Kelsey. I can't stand him, but
That's not why I left him off.
legitimately don't think he's better than any of the 4 that I named. My honorable mention being Jason Witten was because I don't like Travis Kelsey, but or Kellen Winslow Sr., not
I
Jason
threw
Witten.
Jason Witten over Kelsey simply because of the stats.
Yeah,
He's got better stats.
Yeah.
Let's look at the stats. I got the facts.
We do have the facts, and the facts are that Jason Witten is better than Travis Kelsey statistically.
But how many Super Bowls did he win?
0, because he played for the Cowboys, which
Played with
means
Romo.
it is physically impossible to win Super Bowls.
Yep. After the year 1993 or whenever they won.
Yes.
95.
How long can this playoff drought keep going?
Forever, I hope.
Well, not playoff drought, but you know what I mean.
Forever.
Forever.
That would be pretty sweet.
Forever.
Now, do we want to go
Vikings and never
into
go to Super Bowl.
do we want to go into coaches?
We can. I mean,
I don't know. We can kind of just do it off the cuff a little
I feel
bit.
like I don't know enough coaches off the bat.
That is also true. Yeah.
Like
I might have to research it a little bit. All I know is my top 2 are
Bill-
obviously Belichick and Andy Reid. And I think they've got to be. Other than that, I might have to research it a little bit.
Who was the Niners coach all those years with Montana?
I don't remember.
Look it up.
What do you guys think about
What
Kyle
about
Shanahan?
what about Chuck Noll with the Steelers?
I was gonna put Chuck Noll on there. I was getting to that.
Yeah.
I was gonna put Chuck Noll. Belichick and Chuck Noll are the only like absolutely 100%. They're on the list.
Man.
I put Andy Reid on the list. I don't know how
I
you
would
can
put Chuck Noll over Andy Reid, but that's just me.
Andy Reid's been killing the league for
Yeah,
20
I
years.
agree. Andy Reid. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Andy
Chuck
Reid
Noll-
probably belongs up there.
Chuck Noll built a defense that held teams to 0 points multiple times.
Yes, he did. That is factual. I don't know if I would put him above Knowles,
Also,
but I'd put him on the list.
Chuck Noll won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. And the 2 years that they didn't go, Bradshaw missed the whole year. And the year after that, someone else missed the whole year too. So, I don't know. All I'm saying is that was probably the best defense of all time, and he put it together. So I'm going to roll with him
Bill Walsh.
for the
Bill
49ers.
Walsh.
Interesting.
What about like just ones that we've watched? What would you say?
Belichick, Andy Reid.
You got to throw
Pete Carroll, maybe?
you got to throw Shanahan in there.
Yeah, probably Shanahan.
I'd throw Shanahan in. He's great. What about Harbaugh?
No.
Nah. Well, no. John
Ravens
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Well, John Harbaugh. That's an argument. John Harbaugh.
I mean, but if you're gonna throw John Harbaugh in there, you gotta put Tomlin. You gotta put Tomlin above him.
Can we put Sean Payton in there? Or are we
no,
too
no.
biased?
Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy's got 3.
But
Or does he
back
only have
to
2? Does he only have 2?
I thought he had 2.
He had
He might
Tampa.
have. He might have 3.
No, it's 2. He had Tampa and then 1 with.
Gotcha.
I was
Yeah,
thinking he had 2
I
with
thought he
Peyton-
had.
I was thinking he had
But
2 with Peyton Manning, but
Back to Harbaugh. If you're gonna put Harbaugh in, you gotta put Tomlin above him.
no.
Yes. Tomlin has no losing seasons, and he also has the ring.
Harbaugh has a ring.
Yeah, I know, but also he has had very shitty teams.
I struggle with Tomlin because as has been
But the
talked
no
about
losing
at length
seasons only
before,
matters so much.
Okay, but also all right, fine. Look at it this way: he's got what's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks of this generation, and has done jack shit.
But he's not one of the best quarterbacks. He's not. The media says he is, but he's not.
No, he's not. But but with him, they've had the top offenses, and they've gotten 2 MVPs out of him, and nothing to show.
Who are you talking about? Lamar?
No, Harbaugh.
Yeah, he's talking about Lamar and Harbaugh.
Those teams have been terrible.
Well,
They're
but
supposed to be so good.
didn't you have like the greatest offense of all time, and then did nothing with it?
Yes.
This is a
So
thing that happened.
But
yeah,
no, what I'm saying is if you put Harbaugh there, then you have to put Tomlin.
maybe I don't know.
I struggle real hard
I wouldn't
with
put
Tomlin.
either of them.
Because
I
no
wouldn't-
losing seasons is awesome. And it's hard to do in this league, but his lack of playoff success after that Super Bowl just is a real black mark on the record.
That's not my point though, because I didn't advocate for him. I'm just saying if you're gonna put Harbaugh there, you got to put Tomlin.
Well, I'd probably go.
Harbaugh hasn't had any playoff success either.
I'd probably go Belichick, Reed. God, I have a tough time putting Shanahan because I don't think Shanahan has a Super Bowl, does he?
No, he's just been.
He keeps
times.
going to the NFC Championship game.
That's
and
tough.
losing.
I think Belichick, Reed.
But he's also been to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but Belichick, Reed, and I
There
definitely put Tony Dungy. In my lifetime, I put Tony Dungy, and
Pete?
then maybe Shanahan. I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable putting Harbaugh or Tomlin.
What about Pete Carroll?
No, I don't agree with Pete Carroll either.
Okay. Who else?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of coaches that are in that good, not great. Like Coughlin. Like you could say Coughlin. Coughlin's got 2 chips, but like Coughlin, I don't think Coughlin belongs there either.
Coaching in the NFL is very difficult
Yeah.
because they switch out coaches every 2 years. Most teams,
Yeah.
every 2 to 3 years. Only a few of them actually stick around.
Well, the only ones that stick around like a prolonged length of time are guys like Reed and Belichick.
Well, and also Thomas.
Tomlin.
Tomlin went to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Harbaugh went to 1.
True.
And the Ravens were some dookie shit for a while. Big dookie shit.
They were. Didn't he
And
leave?
they, and they haven't done jack shit with Lamar, so that's why I have to say.
Yeah.
He
Well, I mean,
cannot-
they
I
had
don't,
the
I don't
best
think
team
either
in
one
the
of
league
them. I
last
don't think
year,
either one of them should go
if you
on.
count that.
No, I don't think
I don't
either
think
one of
either
them
one.
should be either. I just think Tomlin should be above him. If you're going to consider.
Lamar is just also not that amazing either.
No, he's not.
He's
We
all
will
right.
get canceled for that, so don't say it.
We're not gonna get canceled. The media's
He's
gonna
just like a
tell us
less
we're wrong.
cool Cam Newton, basically.
He's Michael Vick with a good roster.
He's just okay. I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's just kind of
And,
average.
like
to me.
Michael Vick was a great player, but
Yeah, I don't think comparing Lamar to Cam Newton is a very good
yeah, I
comparison.
don't. It's Michael Vick.
I would
is a better
compare.
comparison.
I would compare Jalen Hurts to Cam Newton, personally.
Maybe I don't know if I think Cam Newton's almost in a league of his own, man. Nobody was that huge running the football at quarterback.
Yeah. Well, also Cam Newton still holds. Well, no, Derrick Henry passed.
I'm just going by size because Lamar's size kind of reminds me of Cam Newton's size a little bit.
A little, but I think the Mike Vick is a more accurate
Yeah.
description, or is a more accurate comparison
But-
than Cam.
Yo,
John
did you
Cam
guys
was
see
fun.
that video of Nick Chubb squatting
Yeah.
600 pounds?
Yep.
After snapping his leg in half.
Jalen Hurts
terrifying.
also benched that much.
Oh,
Squat.
I went to Wingstop today, and
Okay.
in the parking lot was an old fucking beat up, rusted out Chevy Silverado with an American flag hanging off the back and a sticker on the back window that said "Hawk Tua" and spit on that thing.
Nice.
And I immediately said to myself, that's got to be the most single dude of all time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like that's a hilarious video and all. Like if you're putting that shit on your truck, on a shit box truck, like you,
Yep.
she's
She's doing
now
like
he's trying to capitalize on her 15 minutes of fame now.
She
She
hired
made
a
her own
manager for what?
Instagram
What are you
page,
gonna
hired a
do?
manager.
dude,
said
apparently she's making money, dude.
You said off what? You said 7 words.
I don't know, bro, but she last week she hit $1 million.
That's
something like that.
crazy. I guess advertising. She could
But
get an
the
advertising
craziest thing
kick
is,
there for a
bro,
little
she
while.
kept herself hidden for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was stupid. That was like she could
Well,
have
she
made
probably
so
didn't
much
realize. She
money.
probably didn't realize.
Well,
How
yeah.
I mean, how old is she? 20 something. I mean, she
21.
probably didn't realize like what would happen.
Yeah.
I don't
But yeah.
actually. I have no idea why it got as popular as it did. I mean, it's funny and everything,
Mr. Window.
but how in the world did it get that big?
I don't know. It just became the meme of the month. I mean, She's gonna make a couple million in ad revenue and then fall off the face of the earth like all these people do.
Yeah.
Because it gets
I mean,
old.
guess
And she
you
has
gotta
no
capitalize.
talent. And she's not talented. She just said a funny thing live one time. Like
And
that's
she's
what.
like moderately attractive.
Yeah. So like she'll be put in like advertisements and stuff, and she'll make a couple $1 million and retire, and that's great. But you know,
Hey, you got to spit on that thing.
yeah.
Internet's a weird place, man. And it
The
makes,
internet is a weird thing.
dude, every little kid now just wants to be Mr. Beast.
Oh, I know.
They're like, oh, I want to be an influencer too.
It is really scary. The like how in school they do like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, kids say
Like
fucking
75
influencers.
to 83% of kids say a fucking streamer.
Yeah, it's bad.
Have you seen
disgusting.
like the streamers' heads are actually different shapes than our heads?
Yeah,
Because they wear headphones so much that there's a little
Yeah.
indentation in their head now.
I've seen that. Yeah.
But like, bro, I remember when we were in school, it was like firefighter, a police officer, like
Yeah, like,
teacher,
I want to be a pilot. Now it's all just like, I want to be a social
pilot,
media influencer.
astronaut.
Well,
Well,
Andrew,
they
look
think
at,
this shit's easy. They just like look at all these videos and they think this shit's easy.
do you know what the problem is too? And look at when I was a kid. I played with. I mean, we played outside, obviously, but you still had like Game Boys and stuff. We played. Andrew, you can attest. We played video games and all that shit because we were right in the age of PS2 and
Yep.
the Game Boy Advance, DS. We were in all that. We played all that shit. But we went outside. Legos. Like, look what I do. I don't build homes, but I manage home. Like, I did the whole thing. Did drafting in high school.
Yeah.
These kids don't. They don't find an interest when they're young outside of watching some fuck on camera.
That's their only
Like,
interest.
Exactly. And they don't.
Like-
there's no interest in. Some of them get interest in sports, but but again, like me, we played with Legos and all that.
We did all of it.
And now that's what I.
We did it all, they say.
And now like that's tangentially what I do for a career. So.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I was just talking like to like a 13-year-old kid the other day,
I'm gonna
about,
grab another drink.
Yeah.
and we were just talking like, hey, I think I was talking about movies or something, and I was like, yeah, you seen Shrek? She's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean you haven't seen Shrek?
What?
I'm like, I don't really like movies. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what do you mean you don't like movies? What do you do? She's like, I just, I watch a lot of Mr. Beast.
Yep.
And like, you don't watch any TV shows or movies? She's like, no. I just
At least
Mr.
watch
Beast."
someone that's funny.
Oh, I know.
Dude, it's actually kind of crazy, man. It
Quite
really
sad.
is crazy.
Quite sad, they say. At least Sketch is funny. He might be gay, but he's funny.
Mr. Beast is not even funny. I've never been into Mr. Beast. And they swear to God,
I've watched one Mr. Beast video.
I mean, I'm glad he's doing a lot for the world with his platform or whatever. That's cool, but
No, I've watched two. I've watched
But
two
he's not-
Mr. Beast videos.
I don't freaking care, man. Like,
I watched a video where he filled a house full of like that expanding foam, and it like the house exploded, and then he gave the guy a new house.
I think what I'm gonna do, man, when I have kids, because you can put parental locks on phones. I'm gonna put like a 4-hour limit. Like once you hit that, the phone's gonna turn off, and then you gotta go outside and do
Bro,
something.
I am not. I tell you, man, my kids are not getting a fucking phone until they're
Agreed.
in high school.
I agree.
And I don't blame
They
our
are not-
parents. Our
They
parents
are
didn't
not getting.
realize.
They're not getting an iPad. Fuck
Hell
that.
no.
Yeah, I'm not having an iPad. Kid, no way.
I've told Lee before that like number one, our kids are playing sports. If they find that they aren't interested in that and they want to do
Then you
say
can yank them. Yeah.
music or whatever, but they're playing 4 or 5 sports apiece when they're kids.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, they don't like it. They can do something.
Yeah, they
else.
gotta try it though.
Bingo. And
Yeah, they gotta attempt
I
it.
played soccer. I figured out that it sucked because it's a terrible sport.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We all played
Agreed.
soccer. We all played soccer.
Everybody played soccer,
We
dude.
all
It
played
was
soccer.
terrible sport.
We all did
Terrible to say.
taekwondo. You remember that? We all did taekwondo.
Yeah,
Those were the days, man.
I didn't really like that. That wasn't for me.
But the other
I played basketball. I wasn't a huge fan of it.
we weren't very good at basketball. Andrew was okay. We weren't very good at
I was
basketball. Yeah. But
Steven did basketball. He didn't
yeah.
like it.
I also told. Well, Steven got fucked, but that's a different.
Yeah.
But actually, that's the reason That's the reason our dad started coaching. But anyway,
It
I also
is.
told Lee like your Shrek point. Our kids are gonna be fucking cultured. Okay.
Oh
They're
yeah.
watching Shrek and SpongeBob and the old Disney stuff.
They're watching.
And
I'm showing
yeah,
the Disney
If
stuff.
you
I'm
if
showing
you
them
can
Star
even find
Wars.
it,
old Power Rangers.
Yeah,
if you
they're
can
gonna
even
be
find
cultured.
it, you gotta
We'll
you gotta
find it.
go to
We'll
the stores
find it.
and grab the DVDs
Yeah,
now
we'll find
because
it.
they're gonna be gone.
Oh,
find
dude, I collect DVDs. You've
Oh,
probably
I
seen
still,
them when
yep,
you're
we
over here.
still have all of ours.
I keep trying to get Dad. I'm trying to get Dad to leave me his Hogan's Heroes box
Heroes.
set in his will.
I
Here, I'm gonna get a beer real quick.
I have a lot of. I'm pretty optimistic a little bit about whatever the next generation, like our kids, whatever they're going to be called. I don't know. I have a lot of optimism for them because our parents didn't really understand the brain rot that the phones would give us. I don't blame them at
I
all.
don't think the world knew of what phones would
No
do to
one,
us.
no one knew. Our parents didn't know. I don't blame them one bit. But we do know. We grew up with them, so we know what not.
Well,
to
and
do.
the tide is turning a little bit. Like
Right.
the people that I know that do have kids, their kids are outside. They're trying to at least. But the thing that sucks though is like you can't leave your kids outside. You can't take your kids to the mall and let them go. Like
You got to be sure you're in a really safe neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking. Like Thomas, what we're talking about now is like
How
even
unsafe
though.
malls are.
Well, no. We're just talking about like kids doing stuff in general. Like what I was telling Ben is like people that I know that have kids, their kids are outside, their kids are kind of playing around with stuff. But the thing is, like, you can't leave your kids outside, nor can you take them
That's
to
true.
the mall or like because you have to genuinely be worried about them getting kidnapped or whatever else. And it's really really sad. Like we could have gone outside, dude. Like when we played Manhunt or whatever
Oh
we did.
yeah.
Do you realize like kids just can't do that now? It's legitimately just not safe.
Oh yeah, my parents. I live right behind some woods, or I used to. They used to just say, "Yeah, go play around in the woods. We'll see you for
Yep.
dinner." And me
Yep.
and my sister and my friends would just go off
used-
and like hit each other with sticks in the woods and stuff.
We used to
until
play
dark.
airsoft in the woods.
Yeah, we played airsoft in the
Can't
woods.
do that now.
But yeah, I mean, we were doing manhunt every weekend and all that sort of shit. Like,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
I think I want to live in the country. Like I decided, I used to want to live in like a suburban neighborhood with neighbors and everything, but now I realize I want to live in the country where I
Hey,
can just have
listen,
my own land,
It's
do whatever
starting to
I
seem
want.
more and more appealing. The only thing is, I just like driving 5 minutes to civilization.
Yeah.
That's the only issue.
Yeah.
That's the only issue.
You just gotta
is
find
that
the
you'd have
sweet
to drive a
spot.
while to get somewhere.
gotta
I feel
find
like
the
I would
sweet
get a
spot.
little lonely.
Yeah.
I would get a little lonely if I was off in the middle of the countryside, but at this point it seems like the best option.
Honestly, dude, the sweet spot, like where we're renting, the main area is 10 minutes away. It's a like a little neighborhood of like 20 homes, and they're all spaced.
Yeah.
We've got
You gotta have a yard.
it's on like 0.8 acres, something like that.
We shall see. But I am optimistic about our children's generation because we know not to fuck around with the
Yeah.
phones and the iPads. We know what that can do. So they're not getting a phone for a long time, and when they do, I'm putting a parental lock on it. So after so many hours, it's just going to shut off.
Dude,
And they're
I'm
going to be
gonna-
cultured as shit. They're going to know what Shrek is. They're going to know what SpongeBob is. They're going to know what Star Wars
Dude, by
is.
the
My
time
kids are gonna have bikes. There's gonna be a
by
basketball
the
hoop in
time our
front
kids
yard.
have phones, dude, you're gonna have a parental control where you can just open your phone and see what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, probably. And they will be playing baseball, 100%. I will force them to do it. I'm going to sit them down and
See,
force them to watch baseball games.
I'm not gonna force my kid to play baseball, but I really hope
Nah,
that they do.
fuck him. He's playing baseball.
I told Lee I want to coach my kids in some sort of sport. She goes, "Well, what if you have girls?" I go, "What the fuck you mean? What if I have girls? They're fucking playing sports too, damn it."
Yeah.
If they don't like it,
I'm
they
gonna-
don't like it. But
If I have a daughter, I'm going to do everything I can to turn her into a tomboy because I need myself a son.
Dude, all you gotta do is pump some, take him to a doctor, and
okay,
do a little
okay,
switcheroo.
okay, okay.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. Nah, I don't know. If I have a daughter, I probably would have to hope that they play not
She's
basketball,
playing sports. I don't care. Soccer,
like
basketball,
volleyball, something,
softball.
something where there are actual normal women,
golf.
Not cheerleading. Not cheerleading.
not
I'm
cheerleading,
Golf.
no, not basketball,
golf.
maybe softball. Well,
She can do
softball's
soccer.
Golf.
She can do soccer. I think
Is soccer, volleyball, golf.
soccer players are all right. Basketball players, super sus.
But see, the thing is, if they play golf, they're gonna hang around some weird kids.
Well,
And they're going to have to wear those golf skirts.
you can find them everywhere. Andrew, you remember when I dated a basketball player? You remember how that went?
That's why. Hey, I said no basketball for a different reason, but
Yeah.
no.
I know said reason. Did you see?
Hey,
Did you
I'll
see,
tell you what though, if I do have a girl and she likes basketball, she'll be the next Caitlin Clark.
did you see freaking Angel Reese had this whole video about flying men out?
Yeah.
What?
It was
I
it was
did
so
see that.
cringe. It's one of those things that was
It was
so
bad.
cringy it made me just want to turn my phone off. But she was doing this god awful gum smacking thing, and she was like, "You think I'm gonna fly any of y'all out to me? Nah, I ain't flying any of y'all out to me. Like she can afford to fly anybody out. What's she gonna use Spirit Airlines?
Well,
You can't
and
fly anybody
listen,
out. You can
listen.
fly yourself out.
She can call herself Bayou Barbie all she wants, but she looks like a fucking fish. So.
No, she don't look. No, she don't look like a fish, bro. She look like Sid.
She does. She's a Sid
Sid
the
the
Sloth.
Sloth.
Hey, somebody,
Women's
hold on,
basketball.
Ben, pull up a picture of Angel Reese.
All right, it happened. Hang on. I know what she looks like, but I'm gonna pull it up anyways.
Nah, but we gotta show the camera.
I always said she just looks like a fish.
Nah, bro, she looked like Sid the Sloth.
She looks like a Disney fish, like a if Disney animated a fish, it would look like
Nah,
Angel
bro.
Reese.
She looked like Sid the.
All right, hang on. All right, here we go.
She looked like Sid
You gotta
the
get her
Sloth, bro.
smiling.
Ben, you gotta turn the brightness down.
Hang on. It'll adjust. It'll adjust. There we go.
There we go.
She looked like Sid the Sloth.
She do.
It's certain angles, man. It's certain angles, and her eyes are
It's
way
the weird
out
eyes.
here.
Yeah, her eyes are quite far apart. And she can
Now, don't
she
don't
can
get
cry
me wrong.
about it on her private jets to Caitlin Clark.
Don't get me wrong, bro. Caitlin Clark is by no means attractive,
No,
but at least she don't look like Sid the Sloth.
But she's better. But she's better at basketball though.
Well, of course, yes.
She's having quite a good season.
Quite a good season, they say.
And you know what? I don't know if no, we're not cutting this. I'm just going to say what I think. The sports channels, Fox and ESPN, are pretending to care about the WNBA just so they don't get insulted by, like, women in the industry. They
It's
are
all-
faking.
I don't
They're-
think
Like
so.
they like
they're
WNBA.
trying to pump the numbers up and make it popular.
They're trying to make it
I mean,
popular
they are
after the
doing
fact.
that. Unfortunately, the only numbers that are improving are Caitlin Clark games.
But look, if they wanted
It's
to do
kind
that,
of
then,
it's kind of ridiculous. I
if they
think
want to do that, then start talking about baseball. These channels never talk baseball.
the league average. Well, baseball doesn't need it.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Up
but
until
they
2 years
complain-
ago,
they
baseball was
complain-
dying.
They complain about baseball dying and all this shit, but then they don't cover it.
Well, they complain
Yeah,
about
like-
baseball. I don't think baseball's dying.
The
It's
viewership
not, but I'm just saying
was
what
going down consistently until the new rules. So it was starting to die a little bit. I think they're doing a much better job now of leaning into their star power. So they're in a much better spot now.
Well,
but
they've
they were
got some more.
struggling there for a
They've
little
got
bit.
some more marketable guys now too. I think.
They do, like Shohei and everything, and
Yeah.
they're doing a lot better now than they
Yeah,
were.
but I mean, think about it. Before you had Trout, you had Freeman, you had Harper, and Harper's
But
gay, so you can't.
Trout
like,
and Trout and Freeman never
No.
they never use their popularity at all. Like a lot of normies don't even know who
Exactly.
Mike Freeman is.
I mean, they tried to use Bryce Harper, but he sucks, and his thighs are amazing.
Did you see them ask Harper what his all-time
Yeah.
great players were at every position that he's played? So
Yeah.
corner, outfields, first base, and DH. And boy, he sat there thinking. He said Barry Bonds, and then he sat there and thought for like 100 seconds, and then finally goes, "Now all four of them are Barry Bonds." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
He's quite smart. He's quite smart.
Quite smart, they say.
However-
at least he didn't say it himself.
Dude, they asked a bunch of they asked all the all-stars, like, what's one thing if you run out of in your fridge, what do you buy immediately? You can't live without it. And people are saying like, oh, cinnamon toast crunch or peanut butter or all these things. And Alec Bohm goes, I don't know, fucking water.
Yeah, Alex Bohm's actually really funny, and he had no business being in that home
Well,
run.
there was that
derby.
clip when he goes. There was that clip when he got
players
to the
are
second round, and he goes, just like everybody thought.
No, it was funny in the All-Star game because the infield, except for Marte, was all Phillies in the infield.
Yeah.
And they asked Bryce Harper, mic'd up, like, "How do you feel right now?" And he's like, "Well, I'd be feeling better if our second baseman
It
played
wasn't
better
at
and
the
he wasn't off on the beach."
Look,
He's like,
bro,
could have had an all Phillies infield.
I don't care what anybody says about NFL players or NBA players when they're in their. Baseball players are fucking hilarious.
They are. I
They are
actually
all
really,
fun.
I like the mic'd up thing. I think it's really
Yeah,
cool.
I like the
They
mic'd up
talking them out in the field. I actually think that's very cool. Do you know Alec Boehm's nickname?
Nope.
No.
So they have a mic on Bryson Stott. He's playing short, and he goes, "Hey Raffy, be ready for that ball." And whoever is on the mic is like, "Who's Raffy, Bryson?" He's like, "Oh, that's Boehm." They're like, "Why do you call him Raffy, Bryson?" "Oh, because he looks like a giraffe."
That's rough.
He does be looking like a giraffe.
He does look a little odd.
Giraffe.
Actually, speaking of giraffe, did you see Max Fried said people call him the giraffe from Madagascar?
Melman?
Melman? Yeah. People call him Melman because he's
That's
so
funny.
skinny.
That's funny. Bro, so now that I have MLB TV and the SNY and everything, sometimes I watch Mets pregame if like I'm not doing anything. I flick it on 30 minutes before the game.
Sorry to hear that.
Bro, Jerry Blevins. You guys remember Jerry Blevins?
No.
Hey,
No.
the Mets
No.
broadcast. The Mets broadcast got voted #1. So fuck you.
Yeah, that's great. That's
One
great.
of their pregame.
That's great.
And
One
what?
of their
Least likely to be tuned into?
listen. So one of their pregame guys, Jerry Blevins, who was a reliever for I don't remember how long he played. Dude, when he played, was 6'3", I think, 165 pounds. He's the skinniest human I've ever seen. And I'm watching him on his head is like normal size in the in the pregame, and then they pan out and it shows the whole body. And like, whoa.
How big is he compared to Ken Rosenthal?
He's built like Steven.
Like Steven? Oh man, he's skinny.
He's
Look,
built like
guys,
Steven.
I gotta be honest. You and Ben,
Hang on.
y'all gotta pick it up on the outfits that you wear for these things.
I'm not gonna wear a special outfit just for this shit, bro. Like,
Gotta look good, brother.
I wore a
I'm for
special
America
hat. That's
today.
gonna be my thing. Yeah.
I'm for America today. I considered.
Thomas, you need better lighting.
Yeah, I just have this one light above me. I should
Just
probably
get a lamp.
I should probably get like a light box or some shit. But
I thought about showing up naked.
I would like that.
we get views.
Consider
Look
this.
at views.
What would you
on
do
Pornhub.
next time we do this if I just show up naked?
Clap.
I considered it.
I'm trying to
Maybe
find,
next time.
I'm trying
We
to
also-
find a
guys,
good picture that shows how
Y'all
skinny
gotta
Jerry
rep your
Blevins is.
teams a little bit. Like get a poster or like something for the background.
Hey, when we move to the house, I'm gonna have a whole setup.
I got my bathroom.
Throw some stuff in there. Throw some stuff in there.
Damn it, I can't find a good picture of Jerry Blevins to show how.
Well, I always
skinny-
have.
Oh, Ben, hey, I have the best way to decide if the Phillies are going to do anything this year. Give me 1 second.
I'm always repping the best team in the league, just off camera. I always am. I have to.
Oh, is that the Magic Conch?
All right, fellas.
Is this the Magic Conch?
Oh, magical conch. Will the Phillies win a World Series this year? Not even worth the effort to think. Will the Phillies ever win a World Series? All right, well, this thing fucking sucks.
That's
Let's
not
have
what
one
the
more
conch says. I thought it was going to be like,
will the Phillies?
no.
You know what? Hold on.
It would have been funnier if it just went, no.
I have a better idea.
Try asking again. Can I have something to eat? No.
Magic Conch. Will the Phillies ever win a World Series again? Fuck. Are they gonna win it this year?
Okay.
Ha, slut.
Damn. Actually, you know what, guys? I can't believe I'm saying this. The Braves are going to win the World Series this year. Do you know why? And do you know why? Because the Rangers, hear me out on this logic, it makes perfect sense. The Rangers won the World Series. Very next year, they had the All-Star game in Texas. Who has the All-Star game next year?
Braves.
Atlanta does. So they have to win this year. But you know who has the All-Star game in 2026? Phils. So the next two World Series championships will be the Braves and the Phillies. It is written.
We have
It is
already established that Bryce Harper's contract is not up until 2030, which means you cannot win a World Series until 2030 unless you trade him. It is scientifically proven one time that if you trade Bryce Harper, you win a World Series. All it takes is one time for them to consider it factual evidence. That's what they said about the COVID vaccine.
True. Well, the way Bryce Harper gets hurt, I could definitely see the Phillies going to the World Series just without
No,
him
no, no, no,
because
no,
he gets
no,
hurt
no, no,
every
no,
year.
no. Not if he gets hurt. That's a Ronald Acuna thing. He's got to get traded. You gotta say bye bye, and
Well,
then
they
you'll
never
win.
will, and there's a no trade clause anyways, so they
Well,
never
then
will.
there you go. You're never
And
gonna win a World
and nor
Series.
should they, because you know who has the best-selling jersey in MLB? Shohei Ohtani. But you know who has two? Bryce Harper. Even today,
Well,
even still, it's Bryce
yeah,
Harper.
it's because Bryce Harper has fabulous thighs. But other than that, he sucks.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in like imagination land, not in real land, but you know, it is what it is.
It
It
is
is
what it
what it
is.
is. I'm just glad he wasn't hurt all season. I was worried. That bitch hurt himself 2 days before I went to Philly to watch them play.
Nice.
That sucks.
He hurt himself in Game 1 of the Marlins series, and I went to Game 4 of the Marlins series.
Sick.
I looked at Twitter, and I was just like, of course,
Ooh,
of course he did.
The Phillies and Pirates are in a nail biter.
The poop game.
Oh,
is
dude,
a
I love
poop game.
the poop game.
It is a poop
Andrew,
game.
did I send you that video? The we're so bad.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
That's the poop
Oh yeah,
game.
7-6, bottom of the eighth. Dude, I kind of believe in the Pirates, man. I think the Pirates can make some noise in the playoffs. I really do.
Yep. Hey, so guys, just a quick,
Just wait till they trade
Yes.
for Garrett Crochet.
just the quickest question they say, possibly the quickest question that somebody has ever asked in their life.
I
Sunday.
said, "Wow, what a question!"
Wow, what a question! Right? It
Everyone agreed it was the best question.
required a great answer. Do y'all want to hang out in Hickory on Sunday?
Uh,
What's in Hickory?
Thomas.
possibly.
Oh, you. Oh.
Because
We
I
do
potentially.
need to pack though.
Well, just let me know because within the next day or two. Oh no, tomorrow. Shit. Yeah, let me know because I might be going to a church over there. So if I do, I'm going to be in Hickory anyway around 1 o'clock. So we should probably.
At the worst. Oh no, I can't. We're going to Lee's parents' house.
Shit.
We could
Well,
maybe,
can I-
if you're going to the church, we could maybe do lunch and then we'll go. But we're going to Lee's parents' house because her
Gotcha.
sister's gonna be home, and then she's going back to college next weekend. So
I do have something to admit,
what's that?
unfortunately, to you.
You're gay? You have a gay OnlyFans?
I knew it.
Yes.
Give me the
But
link.
secondly, I had to give my Dodge Charger back today,
Oh,
No.
that sucks.
and I actually really, really miss it.
Fuck you, bitch. You said that car sucked.
Did you get?
I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
do you have your car
Hey
back,
Ben,
or
if you
is it
fell in love
another-
with it, do you want to buy one?
Not
Over the
worth
course of the, I didn't
400,000
like it at
miles
first.
on it.
I didn't like it at first, and I still say it is very tough to move around. It is very big and bulky and hard to maneuver. That is
It's
true.
not that. I don't know. Maybe because I'm used to it, but I love driving it.
But I really love the way a Dodge Charger looks. I love the way it was able to pick up speed on the highway in a way that my little Tucson cannot do.
It's very
and
fast. They say very fast.
Yeah. I miss it. I miss it quite a bit. I miss how I would get out of it and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's got money." I miss it. I just miss it.
Well, they're not even
I
that
took it to my
expensive.
girlfriend's parents' house because they invited me for a little cookout. Her dad has a strong Mexican accent. He goes, "Hey man, that's a cool car, man." And he's like, "Can I drive it?"
What
Nice.
guy?
He was in the lawn doing some work, and I just pull up in that Dodge Charger, and he looks out like, "Fuck is this guy think he's doing?"
What a guy!
Driving,
What a guy! They say very nice car.
Yeah, so I had to give it back today, and I was very upset to give it back. I will miss it forever. It did grow on me. I will admit.
You know they're not that expensive. You could probably buy one and turn in your car.
How much is it?
It depends if you want a V6 or a V8. If you want a V8, 30 grand. If you want a V6, 20 grand.
Is that really
Depends
it?
what year you want to.
Look, a Dodge Charger is like the poor man's muscle car. It's like the muscle car people buy when they want to look like they have a muscle car without spending money on one.
No, a Dodge Charger is what you want to buy
No.
when you have to finance with 34% interest and get it repoed.
See, Ben, what you're thinking of is the people that buy
Hey,
V6.
we should probably cut that out.
See, Ben, what you're thinking of is the people that buy V6 Mustangs.
Yes,
Those are the people
That
that
too.
think they have a muscle car.
Yeah. No, Dodge Chargers are quite great, and also because they're 4 doors, so it's really like a muscle car for the most part is not a great car to have if you want to live life.
Yeah.
But if you have a Charger, it's a 4 door and
Yep.
it's got a ton of trunk space. It's a good car. I think it's great.
And Dominic Toretto has one, so they got to be good.
Well, that is true. Yeah. But in terms of muscle cars, sports cars in general, like it's usually not a great life decision once you get a
No.
little bit older and start having family or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you get a Dodge Charger, all that goes down the drain. It's fine.
But muscle car is not convenient at all if you have children, or if you have a bunch of stuff you have to lug around.
Unless it's a Charger.
Unless it's a Charger.
But yeah, right.
Hey, look,
but,
let me tell you what, Ben. I have moved to and from Raleigh like 6 times with that Charger. You can fit a lot of stuff in that.
Well,
thing.
and you know what? Aaron used to have a Challenger, and that actually had a lot more space than you'd think.
Yeah. Isn't the Challenger's the bigger version of the Charger, right?
No.
What? The Challenger's bigger than the Charger.
I mean,
It might be
heavier,
wider,
I guess.
and it's heavier, but
It's 2 door.
yeah, it's 2 door.
Oh, is it?
They
Okay.
don't make 4 door Challengers.
Well, does Dom Toretto have a Charger or a Challenger?
Charger.
Yeah, no, I really did fall in love with it. I hated it at first. I thought the inside was just corny, but I came to love it. I do. It is true though. The inside's a little boring. They can do a little bit more with the inside. As you've admitted, they haven't done a thing with the interior in 10 years.
No, you're in the inside of yours is the exact same as mine,
That's
except
cool.
mine's a little nicer. For some reason, I have like the little like dashboard part. Mine's carbon fiber and it's got some like shine to it. But other than that, it's the
The
same.
interior could do with a little bit of work, but that's small details.
See, you guys are missing the point here. You should just get a truck.
No.
I'm either getting a truck or Camaro next. We'll see.
Dude, my next
See,
truck, I already have a Ram. I want a Rebel.
I actually have
I
considered a
don't care
truck.
how old it is, but I want one.
I have considered a truck a couple times because it makes life so
It's
easy.
great, dude. I always thought, like when I was in high school, middle school and high school, I was like, oh, I'm gonna drive a Challenger. I went through like a Tacoma phase, but I never in a million years. Granted, part of it's because of the job I work, but
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd be driving a full size truck. And now that I've driven it I've had a full size truck for almost 4 years now. I'm never going back.
I would never get a Steven truck.
Well, no,
That's inconvenient.
no. I mean,
I would never get a Steven truck. It's too loud,
well,
and there's nowhere to park it, so you just have to kind of
can't-
park it wherever you can
can't
find,
get in, and you can't get in it.
and you can't get in or out of it. I would never do a Steven truck, but I would do a moderately sized, truck, like just a normal F-150. I would
I would do a Steven truck.
We know.
I would not do a Steven truck.
Bro, Steven's truck is beautiful.
I will say at times
Not
I
just
miss.
beautiful, it's just inconvenient.
I will say at
not
times I
practical.
miss my Sierra was louder than the Ram, and I
Really?
miss it sometimes. Oh yeah, I miss it sometimes because I can't be a douche on the road.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm either gonna get a truck or a Camaro next, but I feel like I should get the Camaro first since they're discontinued. So we'll see.
Probably. Well, and you don't need a truck.
I don't
Are you
need
gonna
a
get a
truck.
Bumblebee
Also,
one?
yeah.
You
No,
get a
Marlo
Bumblebee
doesn't like
and a black one?
yellow, so I can't get yellow.
That's pretty fucking gay of you.
I would
Yeah.
love a Bumblebee Camaro, but can't get it.
Just get like black, gray, white, because your insurance is higher.
Nah, bro. I want navy blue
Oh well, that works too.
or black. Black is fine. The only thing is, I don't think I will ever get a white car again because they're like everything shows.
I work on a
Yeah,
job
don't get a
site,
white.
so-
Don't get a white car. No.
I work on a job site, so I've kind of no matter what color car I get, it's going to be
Yeah.
dirty all the time. So
That is fair.
Actually, I do quite like my Hyundai Tucson. That is a really nice car. I hate to say it, but Koreans make better cars than
Hyundai
that.
makes good stuff. Hyundai and Kia make good stuff.
Yeah, the Hyundai
They
Tucson's a
used
good
to
car.
not, but they do now.
It's extremely
Yeah,
convenient.
you can just steal them.
It's reliable.
What
Of
year
course-
is yours?
2020.
2020.
It's a good car. Of course, it can't pick up speed nearly as
Well-
fast as my Dodge Charger did. But no, it's a great car. I have no issues with it. I
Great
like. I
success.
think it's a good purchase.
Probably it'll last you a good
Not
while.
bad at all. Yeah, it'll last me forever if I take care of it. That was the goal. Who knows? I could have a kid in
You
that
know,
car one day.
my boss, without naming names, my boss, we were talking the other day, and he was talking about one of the trade partners we work with. The guy has a
Thomas, you can probably stop recording.
well, eh, one of the
Oh yeah,
guys.
we're just fucking around at this point.
Yeah, here I'll go ahead and stop the recording then. But
Yeah, we should cut out all the random shit, but